Hello fellow YouTubers, Lego AWC Stop Motioner here. Welcome to viewers new and old, and today I'm finally getting around to reviewing the Jakks 2.5-inch Christmas Sonic figures. Sorry it took a little while to get this review out, but I did want to make sure that I at least got it out before Christmas. I'm not expecting this to be too complex of a review since I've already reviewed 4 of the figures here. I still need to review the regular classic Robotnik, and I don't have any other 2.5-inch shadows. So, without further ado, let's go on and get into this. So here's the Santa Sonic, and I really like this variant. I'd say this is probably my favorite of the set, just because I really appreciate the new molding that was put into him. Like, the coat is sculpted on, and the belt, I appreciate they did that and didn't just paint a black line across. The belt buckle is painted pretty well. You can see he's got his quills coming out of the back there. And he's got the Santa hat on top, and it makes sense for Sonic to wear a Santa outfit since the red and white for his shoes was inspired by Santa. And in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, I think that was the one where there was an episode where he became Santa Claus. I actually saw that episode, but that was a long time ago. So that was a thing. Anyway, here he is with the regular 2.5-inch classic Sonic. The eyes are definitely different on this guy. They're a lot more skinny. And the legs are interesting because you put the leg straight out like this on this one, then do the same on this classic Sonic, and the feet are angled differently. That's really interesting. So the feet are actually positioned differently on the legs than on the regular one. The arms look to be similar. There might be a little bit different of an angle going on there. Articulation with this guy, nothing new, pretty much the same as the classic Sonic other than like different positions of the feet and such. Yeah, that's the Santa Sonic. Overall, pretty nice variant. Here we have the reindeer tails. And the main difference I know of between this one and the one that came with the advent calendar was that I'm pretty sure the original one had green, whereas this one is wearing light blue. Interesting change, but whatever. I do like that he has a open mouth smile sculpted on. I'm generally not too keen on open mouth expressions, but I'm okay with it here because this is just a variant. An interesting thing is that the antlers come off, but you can, if you get them on just right, they'll stay in place usually. And just like with Sonic, the sweater he's wearing is sculpted on. Otherwise though, pretty much the same as the regular classic 2.5-inch tails. Let me see, the feet look to be positioned pretty much the same, yeah. And articulation, not really a whole lot different. Pretty much the same as with the original 2.5-inch classic tails. So, yeah, that's reindeer tails. Another solid variant. Then the last of the figures in this set that's a remold and not just a repaint, the Santa Hat Knuckles. And unfortunately, he got pretty scuffed up in the process of me taking him out of the packaging. That was really a pain. And I'll be honest, I'm not really as big of a fan of this one. I don't think it's bad. Like, the mold itself is still fine. There's just an aesthetic change that I don't like. With the original release in the advent calendar last year, he had a green hat on, and I really like how that looked because I felt like that provided a good bit of contrast, and it also fit because he's got green on the top of his shoes here. But here they decided to change it to red for some reason, and I just think that looks kind of boring. There's like no contrast. It just blends in too much. One thing I do notice is like I don't really see it in normal lighting, but when I had the camera light shining on it, this one seems to have more of a shine to the red. This one's much more matte. I don't know why. That's really weird. Otherwise though, pretty much the same figure, like same articulation, slightly limited head and shoulder movement, and decent leg movement. So yeah, it's an okay variant. Like, he looks fine with the rest of the set. I really wish they'd made the hat green. I wish they'd stuck with that. But yeah, that's Knuckles. Then getting into the ones that are just repaints, here we have the Amy. And despite just being a repaint, I think she looks pretty good. I like the red and white and the black belt that they added to her dress. It looks pretty nice. Comparing her to the classic one, not really noticing any huge differences aside from the color scheme for her clothes. And the articulation, it's pretty much the same. Again, I don't really like messing with these shoulders too much. They make me kind of nervous, but you do get the same amount of movement. And the same slightly hindered leg movement. So, definitely not as much to say about this figure, but it's a pretty solid variant. Then here we have a repaint that's based on a mold that I actually haven't talked about yet, the 2.5-inch classic Robotnik. And despite this just being a repaint, I think he's pretty effective. His belt is just painted on, but I like how that looks. And he's got a buckle right there. Gave him different colored gloves, and it looked like he's wearing red pants but with black boots. I think that looks pretty good. I like the looks of the head sculpt. I do kind of wish they'd given him a Santa hat, because that just would have completed the look. But given that the original Robotnik that was released in the Advent calendar last year, like, they didn't change it at all, I appreciate them trying to give this one a more festive theme, just so he fits in with the line more. Then here he is with not quite the original 2.5-inch Robotnik. This is the one that came with the Eggmobile. But they're still fairly similar. Really, the main difference is just that this one, his arm can go down more, and his legs can go forward and back. Well, I don't know about back more, but they can definitely go forward more. And this guy's pretty much the same. Head swivel, shoulders can do a full 360, they can go up that far, forward that far, and back about that far. So, pretty solid repaint. Then here's one of the weirdest inclusions in this lineup, the 2.5-inch Snowy Shadow. I like this repaint, and of course I love Shadow. It's just kind of weird that we have all these classic characters and then not Metal Sonic. Like, next year they're going to give us a bunch of modern characters, then Metal Sonic to be kind of the classic one that breaks up that flow. I have no idea. Not that big of a deal, just kind of weird. This guy's got a nice shine to him though. I really like that. And the snow does feel textured, so that's kind of interesting. Otherwise though, not a whole lot to him. His head can swivel, his shoulders can do a full 360, they can bend up that far, and then legs can go forward that far. It makes me a little nervous though because they're so skinny. And then they can go back that far, and they can swivel. So yeah, I like this repaint, it's just weird. Still, I'd say I'm pretty happy with this lineup. I appreciate Jakks re-releasing some of these figures for people like me who didn't get the Advent calendar when it first came out. There were just a couple questionable decisions made, like Shadow. Again, as much as I love Shadow, I do kind of wish they had gone with classic Metal Sonic and made him a Christmas variant, just because that would really complete the classic character lineup. Another issue, I really don't like that they changed Knuckles half from green to red. The green just looks so much cooler. I think Sonic and Tails are really nice variants though. And Robotnik and Amy, not too bad either. For just being repaints, I think they're pretty effective. Now in terms of if I recommend these figures, I think that kind of depends if you're into collecting variants. I'm not really that into it, but these are just $5 a piece, so I really didn't see the harm in getting them. if you're wanting to get them, I know the main place to get these guys has been at Target. I do still see them there occasionally, but I don't know how common they are anymore. But if you are wanting to get them, I'd say that's your option. And if you can only get certain ones, definitely Sonic and Tails. They're the best ones for sure. Of course, that's just what I think of these figures. As always, please be sure to comment down below what you think of them. And if you like this video, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and God bless.